Hello to all our Melbourne fans out there, and welcome to Mystery AFL Theatre 2.014K, which is the short, snappy name we're doing for these podcasts.
I'm Brenton, and
I'm Heath. We're going to go through undoubtedly the best win of Melbourne's 2014 season, which is round 13 versus Essendon. If you'd like to watch the game with us, that's what we're going to do. We're going to watch the game and talk about what's going on the screen, as well as what happened in 2014 for Melbourne, and also what's coming up in 2015. So if you go to the website, you'll see details on how to get the smart replay up from the afl.com.au website. In about a couple of seconds, we're going to hit play, and when we hit play, you hit play, and you can watch it with us and swear at whatever else is going on. All right, so we're going to hit play in 3, 2, 1. And Hertz, I think the very first frame of this smart replay is the Jack Watts, who's always been the one that hasn't quite got there, and Spud Frawley, who's pissed off now.
Yeah, exactly right.
Great way to start it, and an apt way to start it for Melbourne.
And there we are with the atomic bounce again.
Love the atomic bounce.
Oh, it's great.
All right, one of the main things that changed in 2014 was Melbourne did something right with their captaincy, and they gave it to Nathan Jones.
Yeah, I think it's been a long time coming because, I mean, you can't have a kid leading a bunch of kids. You need someone in there who's been into the struggles.
Not just that, you can't have two kids leading
Yeah.
a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
Any leadership they had, they got rid of, and probably rightly so for most of them.
Yeah.
But then it was too much pressure to put on the kids. It wasn't fair for them. They were on a high to nothing, and they got nothing.
And I mean, you could do worse than having players following the footsteps of Jones. He's a quality player, and he's been a consistent star for Melbourne, regardless of how they're travelling. He's always given 100%.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you want. Is somebody who leads by example.
Yeah, and you put him in a top 8 team, and he'd be pushing Brownlow status.
Yeah, maybe. But he's one of those guys. He's always hard at it. You're going to get an honest effort out of him all the time. Dunn, I reckon, is the only other choice they had. I'm quite a fan of Dunn. Running out of fullback, he's another guy who you're going to get that consistent effort out of.
Yeah,
that's a great pickup.
And I think, especially when choosing a captain, you need to have a proven on-field track record of leadership, and especially being able to dictate the terms to the other team and also the way the game goes. And I think with the young squad that they have, you just need players to sort of develop that themselves. Everyone sort of has their own style of leadership, and some aren't leaders.
Usually a captain almost picks themselves. Like they stand up and scream, "I'm the captain," no matter what.
Yep.
And the two Jacks didn't do that. And,
no.
Trengrove obviously had stepped down or had the captaincy taken off him when Roos came across.
Yep.
And now Grimes has stepped down this year as well.
That's a strong mark.
Hooker had a great season, but he's playing for Essendon, so fuck them.
Yeah, that's it. Fucking Bombers.
Oof. Sounds like not a bad crowd for a Sunday afternoon. The dead spot that nobody wants.
Yeah, and especially I'm waiting for a crowd shot to see if there is actually Melbourne supporters there.
Well, it's not bad behind the goals.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
In the cheer squads. I can't tell which one that is, though. If that's Essendon or Melbourne supporters.
Yeah. Oh, no, it looks to be a strong Melbourne supporters. What was their membership numbers this year, do you know?
Have a look. Not too bad, I think, because this is, Paul Roos is in now, and is this year 2 of Roos? 2 of 3?
Yeah, I can't remember if it's his first year. 2014 was his first year. No, I can't remember. But it seems that he's getting their off-field affairs in order to be able to...
No, 2014 is definitely at least his second, but I think he's coming up to his third now.
Of a 3-year contract?
Well, it's a 2-year plus an option, and I think he took the third year. And now they've got Simon Goodwin in, who's going to be the coach once Ross Lyon's finished up.
Oh, right.
Viney, I can't speak highly enough of him. all the high draft picks and wasted draft picks that Melbourne have had over the years, he's a father-son pick who looks like an absolute gun from the get-go.
Yeah, and you can just see that effort from kicking out from fullback, like the way where he leads on the 50-metre line.
Hey, straight to Jack Watts, who kicks it
Yeah.
uncontested out in the full.
Yeah, but I mean, so many times you see teams just piss about in the back pocket, kick a short kick, and you're leading into the trap that the forward pressure is presenting to you. And so it's good to see, strong marks taking and even getting space out on the 50-metre line when you've got a kick in.
So 4 wins for the year for Melbourne. Finished 17th. Previous year, 2 wins and finished 17th.
Yeah, I think they showed a lot more fight. They still had some shockers. It was inconsistent.
They did, and that's the problem, I think. They still had some games where you're like, oh my God, we have to watch this.
Yeah.
I think 3 goals was their lowest score for the year. It's just...
It's a bit pathetic, isn't it?
I don't know if that's worse, if they show the promise.
Yeah, well...
And then still put in the crap efforts.
Yeah, and especially it seems they put in a good effort and then become complacent. And it seems Richmond did a lot of that when they were sort of developing. They still do it now to an extent, but hopefully it's just on the way getting better.
G-Post making his presence felt again.
Yeah.
That's a great kick out.
Ruin someone's accuracy, that motherfucker.
Something else they tried was, I thought Jeremy Howe had one of his better seasons as well.
Yeah, he did.
He almost became we know he can take the screamers. And he's still going to get those marks of the weeks and contest for mark of the year. But it was at times it was coming like a weapon across half back. We can't kick it long because Jeremy Howe's there. He's going to take. He's going to sit on somebody's head.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, just from his presence in marking contests, when you're a team facing Melbourne and you're looking at lineups and you got to think, all right, now who do you have to contain? There's not really a whole lot you have to pick from, so it's like Jones, Howe, and Viney.
You stop a few of them, and you pretty much got them.
Yeah. I don't know the Melbourne membership numbers for this year, but for the next season, they've already got 23 and a half signed up, which is good.
It's not bad. Season, what is it? December?
It's not a bad membership drive.
There'll be a few, memberships under the Christmas tree.
Yeah, and it's just good to see supporters getting behind their team when they're not doing well, as opposed to jumping on the bandwagon once they start doing well.
Oh, let's face it. It's Melbourne played in the 2000 grand final, and they were never going to beat Essendon that day. Somebody had to lose to Essendon, basically.
Yeah.
And hasn't been much joy since.
No.
So, if anybody's stuck through them for all those times, then they deserve any success they get.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, Matt, you still see the proud Melbourne supporters at most of the games. There's not many of them, but there are key following that sort of stuck through.
Back on their 4 wins, the wins they had against, though, they had Carlton first, then Adelaide, Richmond, and then finally Essendon. They're not minnow clubs. I mean, there's 2 clubs that played finals there in Essendon and Richmond. Carlton, who were not really in the hunt, and Adelaide, who were just outside the 8. So it's not like they picked off the GWS or anything like that.
Yeah, and
they pushed Port twice.
Yeah, and that's
probably could have won against Port twice.
Yeah, and I think that's where they find they struggle to put in the 4-quarter effort with a young team. I think a lot of the teams in that situation found similar things happen. I know Richmond struggled to run out games at the end of last year.
Yeah, it's not bad composure from Hal there. The high marking gets you noticed, and then you've got to work on the rest of your games to become a complete player.
Yeah, I mean, it's all good to mark it, but you got to be able to use it as well.
Yeah, and he's improved. I reckon, a couple of years he might even be All-Australian contention. He's developing nicely, and when he gets a bit of more quality around him, and they're going to have more quality around him, it'll be very interesting.
Yeah, and the way they've recruited...
Jeez, that's a horrible drop of the ball. Yeah, sorry, keep going.
The way they've recruited, it's very sensible what they've recruited, and so long as they can manage that talent and bring it up the right way, then he's going to have the team around him that will be able to support they deserve, such as all Australians and playing finals, things like that.
Interesting kick out from the back pocket there. Found the Essendon player all alone on his chest, but never mind.
Yeah, I think at this point of the match, if you're watching it as it was happening, you'd be like, "Ah, shit,
Here we go
these
again."
matches." Yeah, you'd probably be off to the pub with your mates and keep an eye on it. But
Yeah, not much pressure. Decided to go to the left, and yeah, no good there. Well, he centred that well to the top of the square, I guess.
a big punch to put it through for behind.
Yeah, haven't been inside 50 yet. That's a good start from Melbourne. There'll be a few people in the crowds now going to their iPhones and checking out how the slopes are doing. How's Mount Buller? Is Mount Buller in Victoria?
I don't even know.
I've
seen snow once, and it was in Canberra.
Yeah, so we went out there for 15 minutes and went, you know what? It's fucking cold. I'm going back in the bus.
Yeah, and coming from a country town that, I mean, it's lucky to see rain. I was literally not literally, but I was a fish out of water in the snow. Seen it in water, but I remember digging a hole to make this jump with a toboggan and going right the way up top of the hill, thinking, nah, I'll be right. And I remember hitting this jump, toboggan going one way, me going the other, and landing straight on my ass. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a very uncommon dance.
It's just, they don't seem strong around the contested bowls.
Yeah, it's a nice goal. You can't blame the defenders for that one. They did their best. The bounce didn't go their way, and then that's just a nice finish.
Yeah, and I mean, you can hate Essendon, but it's hard to have anything against Zaharakis.
Well, in the subject that we don't talk about, he was the one that said no.
Yeah.
So, for the rest of his career, he's got a massive tick next to his name in my books.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when a fear of needles actually pays off.
Yeah, right now, if you're sitting at this game, even or watching it at home as an impartial, you're thinking, geez, how big is this going to get?
Yeah, you start to get a bit nervous. I mean, at this point, it's just ruined your day.
I'm going to say, at this point, the bars are ordering more Chardonnay because they know it's going to be a rough one.
Jones hitting the target again.
Yeah, that was done. So yeah, it was very interesting. When I was picking which game for Melbourne to show, only got the 4 wins, so you haven't got much to choose from.
Yeah.
And I couldn't pick the Richmond game because that was just that wasn't a Melbourne win. That was a Richmond loss. That was horrible that day. But I was almost tempted to pick one of the Port Adelaide losses. It's. Is an honourable loss a highlight for the season? It goes very close and they were fantastic games to watch. The one up in Darwin,
I think, to be honest, that was their best performance. But going back and watching the Melbourne game, you don't really want to watch a loss.
We've seen enough of it.
Yeah, I think you'd be over it. And it is that kind of we played really well, but there's that little bit of, I don't know what you'd call it, pang in your stomach. It's like we still lost, and this kind of pisses you off. We played good, still wasn't good enough.
Yeah, I mean, in their rebuild Mark 5, you're going to have to accept some honourable losses. I know that when they start to talk about teams that are going up, we don't want honourable losses anymore. But guys, show something. That's the state they're at.
And I think especially in those circumstances, it's important for morale for a club because confidence and belief, it's like having an extra player on the field. If your team is full of confidence, they believe in their system and the game plans they have.
And some of that rebuild now, we can go through the old the tanking debate with Melbourne.
Yeah,
I don't care what the AFL investigation said; they tanked.
Yeah,
they weren't trying to.
There's any doubt about that.
But it's interesting how there's all these rules against tanking and penalties, that are associated with it.
Yeah,
I reckon let it go because it doesn't work.
Yeah,
the clubs that have tanked have suffered so much. Because it develops a losing culture, and it has complacency with players. And now it's taken, Melbourne and Carlton were the same. It's taken them years to get away from that.
I think with the tanking as well, a lot of times why it won't work is because it's a managerial strategy. Where if you're a athlete that trains for any sport your whole life, you can have that plan to not do well at the start. But as soon as you're in the contest and the adrenaline's pumping,
you're trying your best.
You try your best. You want to win.
The worst of it is, We said it in the other one with St Kilda, how they tanked the right way, and that's a very delicate subject. In that, they've sold off or let older players go who aren't going to play in their next premiership and got something back for them, and then they put out a team and still try to win the game and still try to develop. Melbourne went different. They, it was famous where somebody's actually doing well in the game and go, oh, we'll move him down to the back line, so let's stop that. We can't win this one.
Yeah.
That's just horrible.
I think Hardwick did well, you would call it tanking, I think, by definition, when Richmond, I don't think we were playing finals. It wasn't this year. It might not have been last year, but maybe the year before. And it came up to sort of the end of the season, and we had a chance to finish our 9th again or slip a bit lower and get draft picks. And even Hardwick said, look, the last game I'm going to make decisions. I'm not going to tell the team that they shouldn't win and they can't do well, but there's a point where I just sit on my hands.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes to, is, and especially when you're a relatively new coach at a club that's trying to rebuild, you can't really ignore your directors' orders and what they wish.
At the end of the day, somebody was signing the contract.
Yeah.
But it must be horrible as a player.
Yeah.
Knowing that, you've got a short career.
Yep.
Winning a game of footy, any game of footy takes a lot out of you. And to win it, you go, we've done something today. And to know that the other people that are pulling the strings aren't in the same frame of mind, it must hurt.
And when you haven't done much winning for the season, and they're telling you, all right, winning's time's over, you have to go out and try and lose. It's the last thing you really want to go out and do.
It's horrible.
In the back,
it's got to be. And 50. Go on, give it to him.
I tell you what, Melbourne's work around sort of just in 20 metres out from goal in their defensive half has been excellent. Their pressure's been very well, and just their ability to clear out from the back lines has been really good.
They've had some shocking kicks out of the back line.
Yeah, this is true, but
moving it on.
When your last line of defence is doing a good job, you take it. And it's also they're not having to rush behind. They're working their way out of it, which is good to see.
Yeah, it's positive play.
Actually, a decent crowd,
for a Sunday afternoon game.
Yeah.
And Essendon's a big club. Post, come back.
Well, it's the first score for Melbourne. Got a behind.
Well spotted.
That was a shithouse looking kick.
I still think if you're an AFL footballer, you should be able to kick a drop punt from there.
Oh, all day. And to be honest, if you're an AFL footballer, you should be able to kick a left leg drop punt from there.
Yeah. Yeah, great cut off.
Yeah, it was good reading the play as well, because he misses that one and Heppel's off. That's a good switch.
It's a great kick. Yeah, it's a shame it wasn't 2 metres the other way so he could run on, but...
Yeah, but the thing is, when you're going to switch, you have to do it long in order to catch the defensive pressure off guard. Yeah.
And we'll talk about this last week. So much of those attacks are now diagonally across the ground.
Yeah.
You don't have to go straight down the line to the packs or just across the ground to a neutral position. It is basically on the 45.
Yeah. And I think it's good it opens up the field as well, and it gives you good vision for entering the 50-metre line.
Chris Dawes, that was a great chase out from fullback. Dawes has been an interesting pickup for Melbourne. Because he end of his games at Collingwood, he was a bit of a joke.
Yeah.
The running joke was how useless he was. But he's brought endeavour to their forward line, and that's all you can ask for. From someone that he's not the best key forward in the comp, but he's not letting himself down.
I think he did his job for Melbourne this year. He led their goal kicking. He presented himself well. And for a team that's really struggling.
They're unlucky. They're the big signing of Mitch Clark, who had some mental health issues that took him away from the game, and physical injuries that took him away. So he was never realised as a player for Melbourne.
Yeah, I think they handled his situation pretty well as well, though.
What else can you do?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's footy and we're all passionate about it, but it's just a game or it's just a job.
Yeah. Here we are, 35,911 members this year for Melbourne. So they're already at 25.5 for next season. So
not a bad start.
Yeah, the fans are getting behind them, and you can see that the confidence in the system Paul Roos is trying to establish, it's there.
That was a great transition there from full back to full forward. Great lead up. Strong mark.
Textbook lead.
Yeah, that's good footy. That's all you ask.
This Melbourne Guernsey kind of looks like a weird-shaped Pokemon. A little ball.
Shocking kick. Funny you mention that. They've got some new Clash Guernseys next year in Melbourne. They look a lot like the Red Legs.
Oh.
Norwoods, but they look fantastic, to be honest. They've got the Melbourne club insignia just on the front, and it's very plain besides that.
Oh, yeah.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
I think they might have even played the game up in Darwin this year in something very similar. And everyone just said, look, it looks fantastic, more of that.
Yeah.
You know, and the marketing department or the merchandise department, when they hear that the fans like something, they're going to start pumping them out.
Especially when you're struggling for $1. And speaking of
Great Shepherd,
it's good to see Melbourne Storm have gone on the AFL bandwagon and got some AFL Guernseys for the new season.
The Storm and the Tigers for the pre-season nines have gone the AFL Guernseys.
Oh, to be honest, I'm surprised that it's taken that long for one team to sort of look into it, because in a game that's predominantly about tackling, you want the least amount of things you can hang on to, full stop.
And a lot of the AFL clubs now wear
beautiful Shepherd.
Wear rugby shorts in training because they're they feel like they can run easier in them or whatever. So that rugby style with the high cuts on the side. Yeah.
I meto that would make sense. I don't think the shorts really need to be that tight, to be honest.
No. Warwick Kappa disagrees, but got to have a trademark. Now, which way is that going?
I think that was good bodywork. It didn't seem like a tunnel. He just turned and
I thought it wasn't a bad call from the ref there.
Protected the space that the ball was going to go into. I think that should be allowed.
Yeah, it's just that because his opponent jumped, that's a waste of a kick.
Yeah.
Because his opponent jumped, he's got to pay it.
Yeah, but I think he held his ground and just bodied where the ball was going to go. So now, kick backwards like that, but you got to have a plan to get it forward quick because you let the defense reset.
Great movement.
Beautiful.
It's important in the night games to make sure you can find your feet.
Yep. Back again. They must have each other in the dream team.
This isn't too bad because at least they're moving it to space and having a look at moving the defenders and find out where the next kick's coming from.
Yeah.
They're outside the 50 now. That's good.
And the thing is, it's not short chipping around. It's long kicking to push the defence. And maybe it doesn't work, but they're thinking their way through it.
Yeah, it's an interesting kick, that one.
Yeah, when they're going to play the pinpoint game, they're not at that level yet where they can do that effectively.
There you go. Look, a little bit of pressure, force a turnover, and now you're running. Oh, that's the wrong kick.
Yeah, he should have been off. He had 3 players streaming through the middle.
And that was lucky it got that far.
There seem to be a lot of Melbourne players just sort of standing around.
Still finding out where they're going to run. You got to stick to your structures, and it's hard when the ball turns over. You go, oh shit! Now
where am I supposed to be?
Where am I supposed to be?
In that split second, and it's too late. Your player's running off, streaming down the middle of the ground with the ball.
That's a nice pinpoint pass, actually. See, there was a perfect chance there to absolutely bury Danaher, and they didn't take it.
I think
a little bit tentative.
Yeah, I think the precedent set by the match review panel is sort of taken as makes people second guess those sorts of things.
Yeah, but that one was beautiful. That would just like Roughhead in the grand final. He could have absolutely laid him out then. It wasn't in the back; it would have been in the side. He still would have spilt the ball out. Wouldn't have been holding the ball, but would have spilled it out and caused a bit of pain. You like to see that.
Yeah, especially as a backman, there's nothing you like more than seeing the opposition full forward get flattened.
Yeah, exactly. It just pays dividends all game long.
And it tends to be the mission of all your backmen. All right, whenever you see him, put him on his ass.
Yeah, that's a great contest.
That was great contest on muscling out Chappie.
Hey, bad luck on that kick. There's nothing wrong with that. No problem with that soccer clear out.
Old mate loved in the crowd. There's a rugby throw, 10 push-ups.
That used to be the thing, didn't it?
Yep.
Back at footy training, if you're only allowed to handball or kick the ball. If you threw the ball anywhere at training, 10 push-ups.
10 push-ups. Be the whole team too.
The whole team.
So everyone will be hating on you.
Oh, you hate to see bald-on-bald violence. Bernie Vince, I think this is his first year at at Melbourne this year. It's some thumping kicks too. It's a little bit of experience coming in, which is unusual the way Melbourne's been going. You know, they got Endorse and Clark.
I'm not sure if it was really his choice going back to Melbourne, was it?
Well, I mean, I think his time was up in Adelaide.
Yeah. But he got plenty of the footy.
Yep.
Definitely.
Had some real good games this year.
Yeah, had a standout season for him personally, I think, career-wise.
I'll go close to it, yeah.
Trying to find out what his average possessions were.
I still reckon that should be kept as a stat. How many times you get somebody else holding the ball? You know, tackles is great, but half the time it's just standing there and three people grab you. Winning, like, it counts as a free kick for or a free kick against. It's more than that. You've earned it.
Yeah, and with all the restrictions on tackling these days, it seems tackles are a way to hold the ball up, but you're really trying to limit who they're going to outlet it to.
Yeah, it's about stopping the ball more than stopping the man.
Yeah, it's like you got to hold the man up, and then you're going to try and counter where he's going to pass it. And so a good tackle that gets holding the ball, I think there's a fair case.
It's a different stat. Unbelievable to think how young Viney is, and he's leading that midfield just about besides Jones already.
Yeah. He had the right idea. I mean, that's the only option he had front and centre of the goal.
He kicked it to a one-on-one. That's all we can ask for.
And I mean, that's just experience on Chapman's side of things.
Yeah, he's a good player. He had a great year with...
ugly bounce there.
That's it.
Well, that's good pressure on Apple.
That's holding the ball every day. That's a great tackle. I thought he lost it.
Great pressure. I thought that bad bounce had done him in.
Well, probably a bit unlucky not to get a 50 there. He did have a good year. Oh, look at that.
Beautiful.
Spud Frawley, he's going to have a big year with Melbourne. Oh, no, it's not. Very interesting career for Spud Frawley at Melbourne, because he was an All-Australian fullback, and then injuries and by all accounts a little bit of discontent with, like we said, with the tanking issues. Tried him as a key forward when they, I think, all year they knew he wasn't going to hang around.
Yeah.
He was rumoured to be going to a number of clubs and ended up with the Hawks, but. You know, they got a priority pick, which ended up being pick number 3 for them.
And spent it well. So,
at the end of the day, you've got to think they've done a right out of it. It was a free agent, so, you know, they're obviously got a bit of cap room from him as well. Not that they're spending that cap on major players at the minute, but it's going to be handy in a couple of years' time.
Yeah. And is that the first quarter done?
There it is, and Dawes just arguing with Jamoan there about the final points of what's going on the field.
It took Melbourne probably half the quarter to wake up, but once they did, they played well.
Yeah, even at the start, they were trying.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I thought it just froze on us then.
No, it's just ticking over. That's great, no breaks, straight into the second quarter. Still a goalless quarter, but they're not out of it. They're 13 points down.
Yeah.
This is also 2 out of 2 games so far that have been Fox footy games as opposed to Channel 7, so we're going well there. Yeah, that's a rough old tackle there. Probably no surprises, I think, at the end of year for Melbourne that Nathan Jones took home the best and fairest. Like I was saying, a great choice as captain. I believe he'll be standalone captain this year. Not they won't have dual captains again now that Grimes has stood down. But he showed that given the extra responsibility of captain, he absolutely ran with it. You can't speak more highly of him than somebody that's trying their best in a team that's sitting 17th.
No, I think the tough decision was picking second and third. I think Jones was a shoo-in for first.
Absolutely. Geez, the goal kicking's been shit out of the first quarter in a minute.
Yeah. It seems like they're still fighting for dominance around the clearances.
Yeah, kick it to 2 big blokes, not bad. Somebody's front and centre. Yeah, basic footy. Yeah, thanks for the assist on that tackle. Can we talk more? Everyone's heard it. It's such a shame. It's the they had pick one year and pick 1 and pick 2 the following year. Got Jack Watts, Tom Scully, and Jack Trengrove.
And to be honest, it looked like Scully was the best out of them.
I thought so too, and then he only stayed for 1 year. Now, Melbourne fans won't like to hear it, but I don't blame Scully for leaving one little bit.
No.
Getting $1 million a season over 5 years in his second year, you're an idiot if you stay.
Yeah.
Loyalty and everything, it goes so far, but Jesus, that's a lot of money.
And you go into a team where there's no pressure to win. I mean, for $1 million a year, there's pressure to perform. But there's only so much you can do in a team there's a startup team.
And now Scully's the most expensive tagger in the business.
Yeah.
Not the best tagger, just the most expensive. He's like a Lexus. Got the price tag, just nothing else to justify it. Wow, that's a quick call from Jamal there. Held him without the... I thought it wasn't too bad, but then again, with the camera views and whatnot, I guess he got him a bit early. Yeah, all day. There you go.
Oh, yeah, definitely
there. Yeah, look at that. Been talking him up all day. Glad he follows through the first one.
He's just got that steely determination, doesn't he, Nathan Jones? He's always out there to fuck shit up.
Because he is.
Yep. The old chickening there, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit of a hammerlock.
Yeah, I don't think you can really complain about that call.
Not only was this Melbourne's best win for the year, it was also their last win for the year. So once this one's finished, they finish off the year with 10 losses, which is a bit of it's a downer. You're not playing finals, so they were never in the hunt for that.
But it seems like it's important to put in a good performance towards the end of the year.
That's it. I mean, they had the 3-point loss to Port, which is their other only really highlight for the rest of the year.
And especially for a team and a coach that was in trouble, you never want to go over to the long break with plenty of time for people to think about how shit you did. You want to have a positive note to send people over the summer break with. But
it is interesting with Paul Roos at the helm. It was a big appointment and a lot of hope that came with it. But he's on a hiding to nothing as well, because he knows he's only here for 2 or 3 years.
Yep.
He can't get sacked.
Yeah.
And after that, he passes it on to, now we know Simon Goodwin.
Yeah.
It's an interesting tenure.
And it's not a bad way to sort of have it in place for Simon Goodwin to come and take over.
Yeah.
Sort of serves a little apprenticeship.
And with all the financial troubles that's going around, and debt and all that kind of stuff, Melbourne's not going to go. They're not going to die or moved off like a Fitzroy.
Yeah,
because they're the oldest football club in the world.
Yeah, I mean, they'll be around forever. You would hope.
They have to be. They can't let them die.
Yeah.
It's Neville Jetta, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Neville.
He had a good year. A solid little back pocket we were talking about earlier. And I'm not sure if he's playing today, but Kennedy Harris.
Kennedy Harris. Yeah.
What's his first name?
Ty Kennedy Harris. I
was going to say Jordan. I don't know.
Jai or
I can't remember
that. Yeah.
Again, another great player. Looks like a bit of a live wire, but you wouldn't say flashy because he's more solid than that in his performance, which is great.
And I mean, there's not much to him either. He's still sort of developing to his body. And he seems like just a little bit intimidated, and quite rightly so, because
his first year.
His first year, and he's only one of the underage ones, isn't he? Was he 17 or 18, something like that?
Oh, yeah, he's not. He's definitely not mature age.
DDT like there, yeah. But he definitely showed the flashes of talent that's required to play AFL, and he'll get there.
I think they weaned him into AFL pretty good this year. I mean, he didn't play every game. He'd come in for stints of 3 or 4 games, and then. Go over rest again.
Yeah, it seems they just brought him in for games, gave him a role to play, and just sort of, slowly bled him into it. It's like a scrum here. You got all the teams on one side and engage.
And old Viney on the bottom. Yeah, I think you're going to be seeing that for the next 10 to 12 years.
Yeah, he's a bit of a bottom man, that one. Could have been a throw there.
Nice little shovel. That's an interesting kick out of the pack there, because it's never getting anywhere. You may as well just try and kick it as hard, see if you break someone's nose or something.
You've got 2 teammates behind you who are screaming for it.
Yeah, bugger that.
Yeah, what do they know?
Handball's only worth 3 points.
Do they count smothers?
1%ers. Yeah, they get counted somewhere.
Yep. Because that's an art that's tended to die out these days. People just don't want to put the effort in to lay a good smother.
No, they're too busy chasing somebody, or going. Oh, I've got to go get back into the different zones and whatnot.
Or it's holding someone.
Yeah, do-si-do. Yeah, just lie down this one and hope the umpy backs you in. Yeah, Jason Dunstall then just saying that Chris Dawes arguing with the umpire behind play. I don't know about you, but there's nothing worse than watching a key forward argue about the free kicks he should have got.
Yeah.
One, the ump's not going to go change his mind and start giving them to you. If anything, it's the opposite that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And 2, if you go back and watch the old games of Dunstall and Lockett, they get decapitated and get nothing. Yeah. So just expect it, champ. That's your role.
There's a reason why people like Dunstall and Lockett, they weren't big jumpers. They were steam trains.
But it's just accept it. Yeah. This is the way it is.
Yep.
You're a key forward. The rules have been changed to make it easier, so they can't chop the arms, and you're not getting punched in the back of the head as much. Just fucking get on with it.
Yeah, you just want them to harden up.
Yeah.
A cup of cement.
Yeah.
Get on with it.
You're not getting the free kicks, so, try something else.
Yeah, try and get the ball yourself.
Having said that, fullbacks can complain every single time that a free kick is given away, and they will.
Yes. And I mean, a lot of the tactics that fullbacks use have been taken out of the game these days.
Like we're saying, the chop of the arms and that, but there's the pros find new ways to get around it. And
you'll see experience counts a lot in that department, not only because you've been there before, but the umpires tend to give you a fair rub of the green when you've been around for a while.
Yeah, the veterans allowance.
Yeah.
it exists with the whistles as well. Yeah, good stuff, Pedersen.
Good work around the packs. You just sharked that one.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Over the top.
Oh. No, he's done well. Done well. Yeah, you've done well. Jack, let's see if you can do it again.
Finish it off. Just get off the boot. Sausage.
Centimetre perfect, it's in there. That's a great finish.
It's great thinking by Jack Watts to think his way through that situation and even position himself to get the ball back and have a shot.
And it's showing that a little bit of confidence in his ability to finish. That you've got a set shot from what's going to be 45, 50 there. Hand it off. Watts off a couple of kicks. Great. Only thing is, we should have been seeing more of this from him.
And you'll find that some players are better kicking for goal when it's not a set shot, when they're on the run and have a bit of pressure.
You've got a couple of steps run up.
Yeah. And it also does lots for the team's confidence in him. So when they're passing the ball off, they know he's a viable option.
Yeah, you start to miss those those ones, and it's like, oh, do I have to pass to him again? Kicking efficiency, 87% to 58. That says a lot about what Melbourne's been doing. Again, I think it's one of the most underrated stats there is kicking efficiency.
Yep. And I think that's why for a lot of the stats, they change possessions to disposals, because you can get the ball, but you got to do something with it afterwards.
It's getting rid of it is the important part.
I think that was the Tivendale rule. I think
Tivendale, was it? Yeah, not a bad leg there.
Yeah, it's a fair dog. Well, we're going to that shit for the Bombers next year. Something to look forward to.
Yep, it's one of the casualties of the saga that must not be named. Interesting little, blind kick out of the pack from Heppel there. It's just, get the ball moving forward. It's going to be a contest anyway, so we'll win the scramble.
And it tends to be when you're in form, those things just sort of happen.
They work.
Yeah.
Actually, to be honest, what are we, a quarter and a half into it? Geez, the bounce of the ball's gone the Bombers' way, isn't it?
Yeah.
I reckon that the balls might need a bit of a swab test at the end of the game. See what's going on there.
Yeah, I saw one of them actually a needle in it before the game.
Oh, did you really?
Yep.
See, you can't prove that it was a needle.
No, but it was definitely getting pumped full of something.
You can't prove that. You can't prove nothing.
Oh, that's good work. He's under a lot of pressure there. Wasn't a lot of options.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, good call. Oh, he looks like one of the alien Muppets out of the Sesame Street.
He does.
Joe Danaher.
And that was good. That was just good position. I can't remember who it was. Getting in front of the full forward, just so you got position, and he's going to have to do something to get the ball.
No, he read the ball in the flight very well. That was a good punch.
Yep.
Yeah, great front position, little shove. See you later.
And with body work like that, you kind of force the umpire to make that decision because it's there. Oh, keep going, Jones. Get it back, son. I think he's knackered.
That's a beautiful kick. That's a great kick. Again, nothing the fullback can do. Oh, no. That's good play, I guess.
Yeah, not confident from 2 metres out.
Which is exactly what you want from a key forward.
Yep. But that was just good kicking and just knowing where your defensive players are from the forward there.
That's what it is. Those passages of play, they're there. There's a great, quick ball movement, at the contest on half-back. Get it down. The full forward's got one-on-one, and they've kicked the ball to the right area.
Yeah, and that's just good synergy between the team when you understand where a player's going to run, so you can kick it, and you don't have to.
I don't think the play-on was the right call, but it's 6 points.
Well, if it works, then you're a genius. If it doesn't, you'll get spat on.
You're on the highlight reel.
Yep.
Or low-light reel.
Tool of the week or something.
Yeah.
So 3-3. I mean, the goals they have kicked have been quite good goals, say, for that one, but the forward play's been pretty good for Melbourne.
Seems so funny at the breakdowns when they start the push and the shove. Because pushing like, dude, you're not going to punch me. What's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't pretend to be tough anymore.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh. It was a good effort there.
The chase down is great to see, isn't it? It's like the block in basketball.
Yep. Especially when they've got no idea it's coming.
Yeah.
Like I see a good face plant.
Yeah, Mayor of Hiroshima.
Yep, got to leave a big divot with their nose.
Part of the reason Dean Cox retired.
Oh. You're joking. Yeah, see, if he was a veteran,
Yeah,
that would have been out.
No way.
No dramas
Yeah,
whatsoever.
Lyndon Dunn's not getting pinged for that one.
Yeah.
Justin Fletcher, no chance in hell. Oh, he's going the
Go on the
checky.
check side. What about Dobb? No.
G post number 3.
Yeah, he's been pushed.
So this was not at this stage of the year. Obviously, Simon Goodwin hadn't been announced as the next coach.
Right.
You reckon old Jade Rawlings is feeling a little bit left out there?
I think he would be.
He's been around for a long time.
Yeah, I think he's definitely done his time as an understudy.
If you remember when Terry Wallace got sacked from Richmond, he was the caretaker.
He was
Jade
too,
Rawlings.
yeah.
And I think he might have done a little bit in the VFL as well. So he's been around for a long time and sort of he's had the apprenticeship, but he's still the bridesmaid.
Maybe he's no good. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if he's no good, he's been here bloody everywhere doing it.
Yeah, but I mean, there's been less profile people getting coaching jobs.
Absolutely,
so,
yeah.
I mean,
and getting sacked from coaching jobs.
He's got to be doing something if he's not asking the right amount, or he's not promising the right goals. I don't know.
Or it could just be he's happy being an assistant.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to sit in the big chair, and nothing wrong with that.
No.
God knows, you can be an assistant for 15 years. Not many head coaches for 15 years.
And let's be honest, the media is, half of what they say is just absolute bullshit. And it must be pretty tiring listening to that week after week.
I was going to say, it's journos, they don't write because they've got some massive inspiration. I have to get this out there. Yeah. Usually it's, I've got to fill, 2 columns.
Yeah. It's like we saw, was it last week? Dane Swan, fat. Said, you've seen those photos, he's not fat.
No.
Like, you're kidding yourself.
He looks like Dane Swan.
Yeah. And the thing is, if it was a female sport, oh my God, they'll be up in arms. That's not fat, this is a beautiful man. Men come in all shapes and sizes. And tattoos.
Yeah, goal kicking not really the focus of today's match, I think.
No. Oh, that's
good contest. Play. That's all we can ask for. And he's followed it up. Yeah, it's good to see, a game like this with not expected to win. Essendon will end up playing finals in this year.
Yeah.
Once you get a little sniff and you realise, what, we're on today and they're a little bit off, it's good to see everyone starts to play that, just that little bit, 10% extra.
And I tell you what, if Jones on Chapman doesn't get you excited, that's a cracker of a matchup.
Yeah, a bit of composure there. That's good to see.
And it's been a hallmark of their backline in this game. They've been very composed and made very smart decisions, and no pocket hand passes.
Yep.
They're kicking long into space.
Even the couple of kicks that have gone awry, the clangers, they were composed kicks that it's a skill error, not a decision error or a panic error.
And it wasn't the wrong decision. They just fucked it up.
They fucked it up, exactly.
And good body work again there. Just that position, he's just dominating over Danaher.
I like, I like Lyndon Dunn as a player. I think he gives a good, honest effort. Playing in a side that's finished 18th and 17th so bloody often, or 16th before the expansions.
Yeah.
It's hard to make yourself known as a fullback when you get a sore neck watching them all float over your head all day. But again, I just think he's one of those guys that gives a good, honest effort. Now that he's shaved that stupid bloody mustache off.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like, you can trust him at the kids' clinics.
Although he's got the off-season to grow back, he'll probably come back with something ridiculous.
But I mean, so many of these clubs go out and do the kids' clinics and that. You couldn't leave him alone.
Yeah, no, he's got to go tell the neighbours he's in the area first. And
yeah. No, I think Joe Watson actually came back towards the end of the year.
I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, no, he did. Should be high or something.
Something. So Melbourne doubled their wins from 2013 to 2014. Was it that much of an improvement, do you think? Or is it showing that the whole field is basically levelling itself out a bit?
I think it was, yeah, I think they definitely improved, but when you look at the teams around them and where they're on the ladder, there's a lot of improvement going on down that end. So
Yeah.
I think they have improved, but that whole bottom sort of 5 or 6 are becoming very good. Like, I don't think that consistent bottom dwellers will be there for another 2 seasons. I think we'll see them moving up, and we'll see some established teams probably on the way down. Yeah, not this season, next season.
Not 2015, 2016, you reckon?
I reckon, yeah. I think next season they'll still be trying to fit people into the game plan and see what works. I think there'll be an improvement in consistency, and maybe they get a few more wins, but I'm expecting the teams around them to be a bit more established.
Yeah.
And their sort of structure or 5-year plan maybe a year ahead than where Melbourne are at.
They're a bit of a hodgepodge of journeymen and high draft picks.
Yeah, and that's it. You just got to figure out what's the best place for that talent in your system, especially with new recruits.
You've got to mark those ones, champ.
Because there's no doubt new recruits got talent, but generally everyone comes in as a midfielder, but doesn't mean that's the only position they can play. And look at all the manning up inside 50.
Done well
all over
to get back.
It's good accountability for the back line.
Oh, almost fell into.
Yeah, not much you can do about that.
Nah, it's a great snap.
Yeah, get him out of there. Don't run that fucking shit.
Great snap. Look at it. At the foot of the pack. Yep, get rid of him.
Yep.
Take him off.
Middle. Well, as far as Rouge's frustration, that's not too bad. You see him fly over handle more than that.
He's a pretty cool customer most of the time. At the Swans. I got to be honest, when he was named coach of Melbourne, I was worried. So I thought if he plays just the lockdown style that he became famous for, it probably suits the skill level of Melbourne, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's not something they want to make your name on.
You're going to win games by doing that. And I mean, it seems you have to build your defensive structure before you can really start winning consistently. But you still got to kick goals to win games.
Yeah.
There's no way around that. It's a bit rough, wasn't it?
Yeah, a bit rough. And that's just poor defending.
So 4 minutes 44 left in the second half, in the first half.
Second
and seems been a pretty consistent matching back and forth, besides the first 10 minutes of the half, but it does the old snapshot from there as well.
It is a little bit Essendon just haven't buried the hatchet, put the nail in the coffins. Put them away, made them pay for the periods of dominance they've had.
And, it's consistent effort from, I don't know how that's a free kick against Jones.
Yeah. Okay.
In the back all
but
day.
The other thing is, you've got a couple of blokes lying on top of you. You haven't got the free kick. You're smart enough to know. You got to get it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Jason. It's a bit strange to that snapshot, but
that's what the Geelong boys like for some reason.
There's a reason Chapman's got an AFL contract and I'm sitting here. That's good clearance work, good centre work, especially for a tap you didn't win.
Would
have been off there.
He's played it. I thought he was going to pay the 50 then. No, it decided he'd gone off the mark.
Oh, talking about the A-grade bounce.
Yeah. Hand over to the running back. Great tackle.
That was a throw too.
Yeah, getting a bit excited there.
Yep.
Couldn't see it properly for the angle.
Get back. That's it. That's what you like to see.
Yeah. Everyone huddle. It's 1982.
It's under 17s, isn't it? On Friday night.
Yeah.
You don't get those free kicks
Nah.
against BJ.
Especially, it probably was a free kick, but when you play it up that bad...
Yeah. I don't want to see that encouraged.
Yeah, exactly right. I don't care if it is the correct decision to pay the free kick.
Yeah. And you shouldn't need to rely on free kicks to get possession if you can't get it yourself.
All I'm saying is Adam Sandler doesn't win Oscars for his shit.
Yeah, exactly.
They shouldn't get free kicks for that shit.
There's still good pressure by Melbourne getting stretched like that. Oh, high forearm there.
Yeah, but good. You get an elbow in the throat, keep going.
Yeah.
And he held onto the tackle. That's great for the little man.
And I suppose like a 5'10" player tackling a 6'4" player, you've just got to get that every now and then.
Not that Danaher's a mountain or anything, but still.
No. I mean, you wouldn't really be too scared of him running at you flat out.
Coming at you, yep.
Oh, good fend off.
Yeah.
Good kick as well
Yeah,
to
Nice.
space.
God, he's hit somebody, yeah. Nice left leg.
Yep. Yeah.
All right,
you want better than that.
That's interesting. Let's pretend that one didn't happen.
Yep.
And let's work for the next one.
It did everything right up until there. That was a great play. Down.
God, it fell in, didn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Got to try and make a bit of a better contest
Yeah.
than that.
I mean, around any contested mark, you got to be man on Heppel. Jones through again. Caught one eye.
And keeps going. I think
the umpire should have noticed that. Yeah.
Well, it's the players that call play on advantage these days. So
Yeah.
honestly, I think they should be holding the ball.
Yeah.
He's only had 2 steps, but
Yeah.
plenty of opportunity there. That's good leading.
Yep.
Danaher's in only his second season. It's good to see that lead back, lead again.
Yeah, and you could see when they were looking to give it to him, they didn't really want to give it to a contested possession because he's been getting dominated in the contested possessions.
You know who else Danaher looks like is from Matt Damon. Not Matt Damon the actor, Matt Damon the puppet from Team America World Police.
Yeah, he does actually. I don't get what these stats at the bottom are supposed to mean. 66 degrees.
Exactly. Like I said, somebody else has just made it to justify
They've got a job.
justify their existence. It's a bit like you've watched the show QI.
Yep.
You know, the scoring on QI.
Yeah.
They actually outsource that to a company. There's a company that's contracted to do the scoring for QI.
Oh my God.
I mean, if there isn't a bigger no-show job you've ever in your life, I'd love that job. I'd just sit up in the booth and like, 6 points for that.
Yeah, well, I thought it was like Good News Week where just make it up. I thought Stephen Fry just
Pretty much.
whatever.
No, they outsource it. Well, here's something that they'd not role play. That's not the word I'm looking for, but situation that they situational practice that they do. Minute to go, stop the goal.
Yeah.
You're not trying to work it up. So it's good to see. That the commentators were just saying, everyone out to this side. We're blocking it down.
Yeah. And like we were saying in the last St Kilda match, no matter what stage of the game it is and how much you're getting beaten by, there's always something you can get out of it. So let's say you're getting flogged and there's 10 minutes to go. You can say, all right, we're going to win this 10 minutes or we're going to concentrate on not letting them get marks. Or
you know what? We're going to have no outlet handballs out the back of the pack. Out the back of a contest.
Yeah.
Try and shut one area down.
Yeah. And I think what that also does, it helps gain experience for players who otherwise, at that point, you'd be giving up and you'd be minimising your effort because you're not going to win. But you get something out of it. And for teams that aren't winning much, it's important. You need to keep motivation up and you need to keep the players feeling like they've got something out of there. So that's half-time. And I think you say it's been quite a fair contest. Melbourne struggled for the first 10 minutes of the half, but they woke up and they came back and played well, played good contested footy.
But it's still half the score of Essendon at half-time.
Yeah.
I think the only good thing you'd think of from here is we're down by 21. At least it's not 41.
Yep. Melbourne, Essendon had a few misses and a few out of bounds as well. But there have been passages of play that have been very good. It's just one kick off and they're blowing it. But
feels like a Sunday afternoon game, doesn't it?
yeah. Speaking of old timers, here we are. Got BJ talking to David King. This thing about the bright boots, isn't there? BJ's got the fluoro yellow, look like Lottos, the old school ones used to wear as soccer. Fluoro blue and fluoro pink from a couple of Melbourne boys. I don't know what's wrong with the old black blades. We're getting them out of the footy track.
Well, it was white boots for a while. The black boots have gone out of fashion. Then it was white boots were in, and now there's a few fluoros out there. I mean, even Hodgie is wearing fluoros these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a fan of the old black.
Yeah, pretty much
Classy.
held together by electrical tape. Black tape around the boots and the socks. I tell you what, King's got value out of that interview from the middle of the pitch all the way to the gate.
He's followed him through.
I'd say that's what I'd like to see if you're an Essendon supporter, is Heppel learning all he can from Chapman while he's always at the club.
He's a great pick-up for Essendon. Right, let's see what we've got for an ad break. And nothing, right back into it. That's what we like to see.
It's the way Sunday footy should go.
It's one of the great things. I think the smart replays the AFL puts up is absolutely brilliant. I think it's 12 or 24 hours after the game.
Yeah.
The full replay's up there for free, which is why I'm really happy that we can watch it this way and talk bollocks while they're going on.
Yeah, and they've chopped it up so there's no ads and no excess shit that doesn't need to be on there.
You can skip to individual goals or free kicks or marks inside 50s or whatever. Just doesn't have the normal play, fast forward, rewind, which is unfortunate. It's just a play.
And it's kind of annoying to have to go back round by round to get to the match you want to go. But I don't know. Maybe we'll give them some advice.
Exactly.
I'm sure they'll listen.
I'm sure they are listening. Geez, you back Chapman in that usually.
Yeah. Seemed just off balance, falling backwards, and couldn't get a connection.
Daniel Cross, another veteran they've picked up. As much as an off-field leader as he is on.
Yeah, and that's, I think, what they've tried to recruit with that pickup. It's just a bit of experience and someone to set the tone for the back lines. And you could do worse than getting Cross.
Yeah, exactly. And they have done. In the past, they picked up players like, Byron Pickett when he was well past it.
Yeah.
David Roden when he was well past it as well.
I think they just had trouble attracting people to Melbourne Footy Club. Sort of the main problem.
Yeah. And it's it's not hard to see why.
Yeah,
over the period. It is interesting, this down period for Melbourne. The last 6 or 7 years. I reckon I can remember when it started, and it was round 1, 2008.
Right.
I mean, it was a little bit dry before that, but it was round 1 of the season. You're out there, you're ready to go, and I think they lost by 105 points to Hawthorn.
Yeah,
I still remember that game.
Yep.
And it just felt like they never recovered from there. That was their first. Wooden spoon for a little while.
That knocked any air they had left in the sails out of them. And
in round 1 too, it just hurts so much.
Because no matter what happens, by the time January rocks around, you're always a little bit confident what might happen with the season. The draft's done, and it's going to change this season.
You know how it is in the off-season. Somebody's had his best off-season ever. He's injury-free, feels like a rookie again.
And the funny thing is, regardless of where they're finishing, South Australian papers, both teams are premiership contenders. Yeah. There's no doubt about that.
The WA papers are the same. Queensland papers are still asking who the teams are.
Yep.
And the Sydney papers are hoping for a big season from Bobby Franklin.
Yeah.
Hang on, there is actually a Bob Franklin.
Is there?
He's the bloke who's the comedian who's always alongside Jamoan.
Oh,
Jamoan's cricket goes, Bob Franklin. I want to see him play. It'd be awesome.
You might be in the Irish versus Australian international rules.
Yeah, not Irish, but that's all right.
Fuck it. Stick him in there.
Actually, he did this awesome comedy video for the Comedy Channel years ago. He was the import for the Richmond supporter squad.
Right.
Geez, I have to find it again. It was hilarious.
We'll try and find the link and we'll put it on the website.
I know it's out there. It's on YouTube somewhere. I'll put the link up afterwards. Great punch there. Oh, it's not a bad pickup either. And right now, you'd be just about putting the 4 points down.
Yeah, if you were still watching at this point, you'd probably go back to whatever you're doing, water in the garden or whatever what you're doing on a Sunday arvo.
Well, I mean, Melbourne supporters, they've probably gone back to get their pipe and slippers.
Mongrel kick, too.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah, I hate seeing those ones go through as a defender.
And, of course, he meant it.
Yeah.
That was, the beautiful fade on that kick. That's exactly what he wanted to.
It was just counteracting the left to right breeze. And that tells a big story there. 7-1 centre clearances. And I mean, it's tough for Jamar to do the ruck for a whole game. Don't think he has a whole lot of support. That's a strong mark. Strong mark. Oh, good decision.
Yeah, that's it. That's the right choice.
Would have been better for a bit of a quicker overlap to get the play running, but still, you like people making those decisions and not hesitating. Did enough there.
I think you made that one a little bit obvious.
Yeah. I think he was always going to struggle to get there in that one. I thought
great
beautiful
stuff.
Yep, run through, have a dub.
That's such a shame.
Yep.
You've done everything right. Kicks going. That's one of the most obvious free kicks you're ever going to get. But and then not to make them pay.
Yep. They call them coach killers, those ones.
That's what somebody calls them. Yeah. God, 7 goals, 12.
Over the top. Probably need to.
Beautiful.
Good
That's
mark.
a great grab.
Good mark. Yeah, he's right. It is a pretty huge kick.
Well, they need the young players to set the agenda. The old ones have all been moved on or haven't been good enough.
Yeah. And I mean, that happens when you make a young person captain.
Yeah, but it's this core of players that are going to be the ones that make the difference for them.
Again, just kills you those shots of goal that should be 9 out of 10 goals.
Yeah, even for a young player.
Yeah.
Oof. Yep, 15.01 metres, says the umpire. Yeah, well done. Was that Dawes again on the mark there? Yeah, it was.
Yep.
Well done. Just hassling him, forcing him to kick it a step or two earlier than he wants to.
Oh, good tackle. That's what you like to see.
Tackle. That's what we're talking about in the second quarter. It should be that kind of tackle.
Yeah.
There's nothing illegal about it.
And it's interesting, that sort of tackle is what some high school NFL, not NFL, but American gridiron teams are starting to do because of the concussion worries and concerns that they've had there.
Shoulder in.
Yeah, it's actually teams.
Nothing wrong with it.
They've employed rugby coaches to take over their tackling.
Yeah, you can't put the head in the numbers anymore because you start forgetting your own name by the time you're 30.
And to be honest, you're going to you're going to wear out your opponents a lot more by laying those tackles than just by head charging.
Such spring. God. Again, it's a great kick. The kick was right, though.
Yeah. That's good for pressure. Look at that. Another great tackle.
Yeah, I guess he come out in the tackle. I reckon that should be holding the ball.
Yeah, so do I. Oh, it's a headbutt. Make Timmy Cahill proud, that one. Yeah, he just got found alone there, so... And that's good reading the play. You see, he was making his way across to the centre position for defence, and that's why you eliminate that cross and getting shots at goal straight down the guts, straight in the corridor.
Well, it's interesting, floating across half back there, because next year there'll be Hertia Lumumba doing that for the Demons. So he's been one of their big off-season acquisitions.
Yeah, and he's one of the players I think they've got on board to play around the outside a bit and use the ball well.
Yeah, Lumumba, he can waste the ball sometimes, but he does it in an attacking manner, or he's trying to force the play.
Yeah, he's always trying to move it forward.
Which you can't argue with that. So, just having a look here, their big ends is Lumumba, Ben Newton, who's coming across from Port Adelaide. He obviously wasn't getting much of a game out there.
Yeah.
And Jeff Garlett is an interesting one.
Jeff Garlett, really?
Jeff Garlett from Carlton, who is either a small forward or a running half back, depending on the day of the week.
I mean, it could just be a change of scenery that rejuvenates Garlett's career and passion for the game.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you could go either way.
And you'd think he'd have a consistent spot in the team, so gives him a chance to get a bit more of the ball, a bit more confidence.
Hopefully, if he does go forward, convert a few more of those half chances.
Yeah.
When Garlett's on, he's a great running player that, and they can always do with more speed.
Yeah, and forget, he's not a complete player. He's still got a lot to learn and a lot to grow.
Yeah.
And this might be the chance that he's got to do that, where the pressure isn't on to perform in and out each week because you're looking at playing finals. The pressure is to perform because you need to make your teammates better.
And his time was up at Carlton. He was not going to stay there, off field as much as on.
Yeah. It's inconsistent.
Yeah, made the contest. That's all you're asking for.
You knew straight away that front and centre position was going to pay dividends.
Yeah.
Tell you what, that's not a bad snap on the left.
That's brilliant.
That's what you want to see. Probably get a bit more excited if I was kicking those goals and sharking that possession, but
you're still down by 30 points.
Yeah.
Another pickup is Sam Frost from GWS. Now his brother plays for Collingwood, and he was a good pickup this year.
Yeah.
But they picked up Dom Tyson from GWS last year, and he turned out all right. We missed that goal earlier that we're looking at, but he's been a great pickup for him. Sam Frost, I reckon that's another great pickup. I reckon he's going to be all right. Still young.
Yep.
He might play that second or third defender role as well.
Yeah.
Bit of run. It's positive things for him.
And also with Melbourne, with a lot of young talent, and they are talent, they're good players. They're strapped for cash, and so it's not only an investment in their football department, but the ability to recruit these players and then give them a couple of years, see what sort of players they're going to be and how they're going to fit into your structure. And then, if not, you can recruit in what you actually need to fill the holes, and you're going to make money in doing that.
Once they start threatening, they've got a bit of cap space. There's going to be some people that start to think, it's not too bad down there.
Yeah.
God knows they've got off-field connections too that the players can start to benefit from.
Well, I think the tendrils of the Melbourne supporters go very deep into Melbourne society.
And old.
Yep, that's what it is. That's the old money.
It's the old money. That's the ones you want to get hold of.
Yep. Old money is gold money.
And of course, the other big pickups through the draft, you got. I want to say Stretch is a father-son pick. He looks all right. Anytime you get a father-son pick means you've paid unders for him. So that's always value.
Unless it was the other cloaks.
1 out of 3 ain't bad. And of course,
Bounce took his full measure there.
And of course, pick number 2 in Petraka and pick number 3 in Angus Brayshaw. Now, I've spoken about this before. We've seen, big picks from Melbourne before, and priority picks and compensation picks that haven't come to fruition. Dare to dream.
Yeah,
That's all I can say. I think these two are the best ones they've had in years.
So do I. And I think they've got the environment fixed up a lot so they can nurture that talent.
And actually develop.
Yeah.
But that's a mark.
Yeah. It's cool play on. Oh, my God.
That's holding the ball then.
Yep.
It's a shame because I reckon that's a mark.
Yep, so do I.
But at least he's not bitching to the umpire like he was in the first quarter.
Call him a wanker and on your way.
Yeah,
way you go.
Do it under your breath and get back into it. But yeah, Petraka and Brayshaw, they'll probably play hopefully more than a dozen games in their first year.
I think they'll play limited roles too. You won't give them a baptism of fire.
No, they've got a little bit of depth where, obviously Jones is their main one, but you've got Viney, who's now a few seasons in, who can start to take a leadership role in the middle more. So these guys can play their 50% of game time in the guts and 50% somewhere else. And but more than that, they're not just first year players; they're physically more developed than your usual first year player.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, I think that just says how the football structure is feeding down to grassroots these days in what it takes to get to AFL level and the scouting and recruiting that they can do.
Because, don't want to keep going back on it, but when Jack Watts played his first game against Collingwood on Queen's birthday Monday, I thought it was absolutely shocking, and it's not his fault. He shouldn't have been out there.
Yeah, I agree.
It was an absolute boy against men. And that
exactly
first time he touched the ball, he got tackled by Luke Ball and I think Shane O'Brien or whoever else was playing back then. So, it wouldn't have been both of those two. But anyway, it just said that he wasn't ready.
And especially coming from a league where he was one of the tallest and dominated, had big raps.
It always looked like that, wasn't it? Like football always came easy to him.
Yeah.
Now it's hard.
And in doing that, you put a little bit of a target on your back going into the big leagues where people are like, right, son, this is the real deal here. This is a man's game.
And again, not all his fault because Melbourne held him up as the messiah.
Yeah.
And it was too easy of a target to take out.
Yeah, and to be honest, coming from country leagues and actually playing in the Vic Championship competitions, the city leagues are a bit softer than the country leagues in regards to physicality.
Yes, yeah. There's a little more roughness going on.
Yeah. There's a reason why there's a cunt in country.
Interesting. Coming on, number 3 Sailor, a very famous number at Melbourne. Subs coming on halfway through the third quarter. I wonder what kind of game he has.
If Melbourne got done deliberate for that same thing in the pocket, then that's got to be deliberate for Essendon.
Yeah. Speaking of the number 3, going a little bit to the footy show. I don't think I watched half an hour of the footy show this year.
No.
But anyway, they're always showing the Gary Lyon crying on the stretcher.
Yep.
And everyone has a good laugh.
Yep.
I actually, for some reason, was going through YouTube clips and saw the incident that led to that.
Yep.
I thought he'd done his knee or whatever, stretch it off.
Right.
No, he snapped his leg.
Really?
Like
Nathan Brown style?
Like Nathan Brown style. That style. And all of a sudden, I didn't think it was that funny anymore.
No, that shit just makes me cringe. Like, I can't watch those injuries.
That's what I was like, they're still making jokes about it. I mean, they've been making jokes about it for 3 or 4 fucking years.
Yeah.
Jeez, it's a bit rough. Not that like I said, I don't watch the footy show much anymore. It's not a commentary on how bad I think it is, but it is bad. But it's just, I can't believe it. They have a go at that. I mean, that's...
Yeah, because those, like,
awful.
there's the Nathan Brown and the Anderson Sue one that stand out as just, I cannot watch.
Anderson Sue, Barlow.
Yeah, Barlow as well.
He tried to stand on his.
Yeah.
Bloody idiot. Yeah, Bomber's not saying all that much.
No. Well, you do well to listen to him regardless.
Yeah. Maybe he's just getting his order in.
Yeah.
Right, ham and salad.
Salad.
Yeah. Curried egg, mate. You can't eat curried egg in a team environment.
No. Actually, speaking of which, I went to the cinema a couple of nights ago, and halfway through the movie, someone pulled out a curry. A curry in the cinema.
Curry? Yeah, what were you watching?
Interstellar.
No, it doesn't match.
No.
You got to match your meals.
And I mean, popcorn smell you can handle in the cinema.
Yeah.
A curry? Nah, not a fan of the cinema. I love a good curry, but didn't smell that crash hot.
Yeah, not with your popcorn.
Yeah. That's a good kick.
Yep, good kick.
Look at the space they're leaving in the forward line from their structure. You're giving your forwards plenty of space to lead into.
Yep.
Front and centre again, always. That's good, strong footy.
Yep. Just needed one clean possession, that's all. Didn't get there.
I'll tell you what, if there's anyone a candidate to change codes to NRL, Nathan Jones has to be up there.
Not a bad choice.
Spends a lot of time in and under the packs and doesn't have a backward step in him.
Yeah, good tackle.
Yeah. I think you might have heard him with that one too. It's one of the ones that take the wind out of you.
And that's the thing with Chris Dawes there. Like we were saying before, not the most skillful player and having a bit of a down day. You know, he's not getting the free kicks he thought he deserves. But, even if you're not kicking straight or you got the yips there, tackling doesn't change.
Yeah.
And chasing doesn't change and creating that pressure.
Yeah.
It's somebody that he's a mature footballer in that sense.
Yeah, and he always finds a way to contribute. Some things don't work out, and that's because you have days like that, and other things will go your way, but he's finding a way to get in the game, get involved.
And like they, quite often say, he's a very, very intelligent man. He's doing law or finished law or whatever, so it's good that he can...
Get a job with St Kilda when he finishes.
There'll be a few defences going on. Oh, I tell you what, being in Melbourne, I'm sure he can find some supporters of the club that have got law
some connections there, yeah.
Yeah, there's no worries there.
They have no dramas at all.
But, you've got to be smart enough to know, all right, plan A is not working, what else can I do?
Yeah, and that comes with experience as well.
Yep.
And the best thing you can do is the 1%ers. You can't help the team directly, so you help the people around you. And that was a good kick. That's what you want to see.
And he's had a bit of an off day at times as well.
Yeah.
Isn't? Oh, the muck be here, to be sure, Hey, no, go on, stop it, get out of there. The Marks will be back here.
There we are, there's a bit of excitement.
Yeah, get the old fist pump
Get a bit of fire in the guts. So time on third term, and were they down 18? Is that 3 goals? It still looks ugly, 54 to...
36. Yeah, 36 isn't a three-quarter time score.
Yeah. If it was 6 goals straight, you think, it's not bad kicking.
It's a good start.
Oh. So you need to kick it a bit further there so he can run. And he had players streaming down the wing.
That's right. He's followed it up well, though.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can't have Heppel in that much space.
Nah.
But that was good for... Heppel had plenty of time, but they realised that, and so man up down the field, give him nothing to kick towards, and they did the right thing.
Go for the next one. That's a good step for the Rhymes.
And that's good to draw the player there as well.
He's going to be interesting without the weight of captaincy next year, if he can become a solid player. And by solid, I mean cemented in the team, and without that expectation. He was probably a little bit embarrassed himself to be named captain at various stages. Again, not his fault. It's just more mistakes that the Melbourne hierarchy have made over the years.
Yep.
Not the worst of them, but they've made a few.
Certainly didn't make life easy for him.
No.
It's kind of a shame for the players who are doing such a good role on Danaher for the whole game and give him an easy goal like that.
Just a soft one like that.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the way it goes.
So you need a 1 over there.
There's the old line that's been attributed to just about every soccer player that's ever lived that said, if you weren't a footballer, what would you be? And the answer's a virgin. I think even Chris Judd's used it once or twice.
Yeah.
Danaher is going to be using that line, I think, some stage throughout his year.
Yeah, he's proud of his sponsorship.
He's proud of his Fujitsu air conditioning. Old Tubby Taylor shed a tear there.
Say, it ain't that fucking hot in Melbourne.
Late on a Sunday afternoon in the middle of winter.
Yeah, I mean, my air cooler there's a hose that I stick out the window. That's often I have to get it out.
Yeah, I think there's a rookie mistake there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good vision there. Assess the options.
Too slow.
Yep.
But I guess if the target's not there, the target's not there.
Yep. It does really piss a coach off to start bombing along to contests that you don't win.
3-on-1s and whatnot.
Yep.
Oh.
I mean, if I was in the Melbourne team and we were getting pumped, I'd just be trying to set up Howie for a few screamers, get something out of the game, try and get him a car or something, take a chop at the end.
There we go.
You want to love these ones for getting a bit of excitement around the team.
Who's that? Dwayne Russell, he liked it.
Yep. Oh, sorry, now it's 18 points. 24 points.
Yeah, you were right before. Danaher kicked the goal, remember?
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing worse after you've missed a couple and then come back and finally nail one.
Yeah, I hate that. Yep, that's great. That's a nice bounce.
J-Mar contesting the ruck there. How do you go on J-Mar? I reckon he's one of those strong, bustling type of ruckmen that you like to see.
I like him. I think he's good, but I think if he gets injured, they don't have a lot to rely on there. Yeah. They're in big trouble.
They've gotten rid of a few. Well, geez, that's a great pickup.
Is that Vince? Who was it?
Yeah, it was Bernie Vince.
Yep.
Oh, it's goal. Oh, here we go.
Here's the review.
The Indian cricket team went like this. No DRS for them.
It's like umpires Google Glass or something.
You know, they're always talking about they can't afford the technology.
Yeah.
That's a goal one.
Another coat of paint on him. He might have been in trouble, but...
You know, they're always saying with goal line technology they can't afford to put the cameras at all the grounds and kind of that, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
How much is 2 GoPros go for these days?
Oh, you'd probably be able to get them for...
a couple $100, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be something, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, for instances like that, I don't see why you couldn't use hotspot. There's plenty of thermal cameras you could use. I mean, it's not expensive these days, not for especially an organisation such as AFL.
Yeah.
Because it's not like the club's paying for it. The AFL forking out the cash for it.
Oh, it's the TV rights, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you're paying plenty for
just another victim of something that wasn't in the TV rights when they signed them 4 or 5 years ago. So it'll be, in there for the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great pick up in hands, and that's a sensational finish.
Especially a snapshot from that side on the right foot. It's tough to place it right because it's going to curve back naturally away from the goals. A lot of times when he's from that position, you'll see him actually snap it on the ground because you'll find the dribble will go the other way.
Yeah, they can control the bounce.
Yeah.
There you go, 12 tackles in the forward half. That's not bad.
There wasn't pretty work around the centre there, but they managed to corral it somehow. It did well.
You should have been content to see it out.
Yep.
The no-look handball was the right idea.
Yep. You see, he just took his eyes off to see where he's running first, and that split second, done him in.
But again, it's a mistake with positive play.
Yeah. See, in that situation with only one hand available, it's best not to pull it in because there's not a lot you can do with it. Yeah, you're better off tapping it to advantage.
And no one's complaining on that holding the ball. Yeah, you've been holding the ball, son. Give it up.
Got to get your hands off the ball, son. It seems Essendon just iced the clock to make sure it's a one-score play, if that
Yeah.
makes sense, so they can't have it turned around and score a goal against them.
Interesting kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great tackle. It's so easy to give away a free kick there, and
Yep.
Dunn's done exceptionally well.
I mean, it's hard to see from that angle what was actually downfield. So, I mean, he's probably kicking it long because he's got nothing to kick to. And if you kick it on the ground, it goes out, you get busted for deliberate. That's good work by Jamer.
Yeah, it's what you like to see. The ruckmans that can get down.
Yeah, Ruckman trying to get their own change.
Yeah, exactly right. Playing the Rovers role as well. Especially when, there's just seconds left. They've got to know it's close. The runner gets out there
Yeah,
and
the
tells
runners
them
around
they
there and tell them what's going on. Yeah, the fans aren't short on giving them advice.
That's it. 18 on the ball at the minute. Yeah, hold it in. You're not going to get holding the ball here. And that'll do us. We'll take it 2 goals into the final quarter.
And it's been just a slow grind for Melbourne to get back into it. It wasn't really key passages where they just dominated for a period of time. It was a grinding session.
Grind's the right way to call it, I think.
A character builder.
That was a better quarter of football, from both sides, though. It's a tough slog, but it's not... no one's being embarrassed.
And to be honest, both teams looking pretty good, Nick. They don't look
not
tired
bad.
or they're not making, not silly errors. They're making errors in skill, but they still look like they're ready to run out of fourth quarter. And I think we've only had one sub activated, haven't we? Or both done.
I haven't seen the Essendon sub yet, but the sub for Melbourne, Salem's he's out there. It was interesting when we did the St Kilda game. The sub had a big game, coming on so early. Salem coming on halfway through the third quarter, and we'll see what kind of last quarter Salem has.
Yeah, if you could do something, who knows what happens. I mean, it could be a genius move, or it could be the game killer.
A little handoff there from what's his name, Hocking.
Got a few of them today. Probably something they've been working off in practice. The old crow throw.
Yeah, it was called the crow throw when they first came in, wasn't it? The old flick pass.
Good reason.
Whatnot.
Good reason.
Geez, Myers has got a big boot on him.
You know what they say about people with big boots?
Big socks.
Yep.
Actually, no.
It's Friday, isn't it? Dad joke Friday?
Yeah, Dad joke Friday. Actually, that was a question on QI once. It was say people about big feet. It actually means you've got big forearms. That's the only correlation it has. It's got because most people wear the wrong size socks or the wrong size shoes. So
yeah, true.
There you go. Last quarter we spoke about the acquisitions for Melbourne, the notable ins, the notable outs. And they've had a couple now. Mitch Clark, like we spoke about. As far as I'm concerned, they did the right thing by Mitch. I don't blame him for wanting to move on again, even though how he got to Melbourne was a little bit weird as well.
Yeah.
Coming down from Brisbane trying to get to Perth, but now he's moved on to Geelong. But I think Melbourne can be commended. They did the right thing by him, and that they've got a little bit for him anyway.
Yeah, and it's just the right approach to have from a people management side of things.
Yeah, and look, end of the day, there you go. There's Kavanagh coming on as a sub for Essendon. At the end of the day, it wasn't like he was an integral part of their side for this year either.
Yeah.
I don't think he played a game, or if he did, he played 1 or 2, and that was it. So on-field wise, he'd already essentially retired.
Yeah.
So you haven't lost anything there.
Yeah.
So you look at it as you haven't lost anything. It's Geelong have gained something.
Yep. And you set a good precedence for the rest of the players in your squad. They've got issues, they can sort them out.
We want to sort them out.
It does a lot for morale because maybe there are people who have existing issues like that and gives them a chance to know that the club's going to back them and, they can do something about them.
Another retiree they had was Shannon Burns, who I think was a premiership player with Geelong. Yeah. And one of those guys that, unfortunately, the body just didn't hold up.
Yeah.
Apparently well liked around the club and probably going to stay in football. But, when your times come, your times come.
Yeah, that's it. There's no better indicator of retirement than nature.
Yeah.
Once your body's done, it's done. And that's the thing is that a lot of footballers, they're retired by early 30s.
If they're lucky.
Not even halfway through your life. And you think you're going to have kids, you want to be able to run around and play with them. So it's no good with 2 bung knees.
So again, probably not in their best 22 anyway, even when fully fit. So not a massive loss. You'd like to see some love.
Not sure if they have a best 22, let's be honest. They've got no number 22 very close to it.
So another one that they've... unfortunately, I think
can't do much about that.
The listed Sam Blees. Now, he's one of those guys that's sort of in and out of the Melbourne side. And, it's a nice leap again from Howe. But in the few Melbourne games that I saw, I actually quite liked Sam Blees.
Yeah, I thought he played all right, yeah.
So a little bit weird that they decided to let him go.
Yeah, and I mean, there's lots to be said about how people perform on the training track as well in regards to whether they get kept or traded off.
And like I said, it's not like I watched every single game and dissected them like the Melbourne hierarchy would. That's not even a jump and punch. He's wiping something off his chin.
Yeah.
Doing him a favour.
If you call that a punch, you've never been in a fight.
And of course, the biggest exit was Spud Frawley, like we spoke about.
Yeah.
He's going to hurt a little bit because obviously he's a talented player and all Australian and
brings a good, good culture or environment to the club.
Well, I think some of that is the reason why he left. Is he's been burnt.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you've got somebody like that who wants to leave, all you can do is let him go.
Yeah, exactly right. And I mean, he's happier going back to St Kilda and doing whatever he's going to do there now. Not really sure what he's doing there, isn't he?
Wrong Frawley.
Oh, sorry.
Don't know what you were talking about.
No, I wasn't really paying attention to what you listened to. She was saying, sorry, I heard Frawley.
James Frawley, free agent, signed up to Hawthorn. But the good thing is, they got pick number 2, and with Spud going, means they get compensation pick number 3. So they've used the pick well. So in a way, look, Melbourne aren't going to contest for the premiership next year.
Yeah.
So they've done very well out of it. If you're going to lose, one of the players who's probably your top 3 or 4, you want to set yourself up for the next one. So to get essentially Angus Brayshaw for him, who's going to be a great player for the next 10 years, hopefully. I think they'll, on the face of it, they'll be happy with the deal.
Yeah. And when going through a stage where you've got a high turnover of players, it's important to keep some talent around, but you need to be able to plan for the future as well.
If they don't want to be there, you don't want to force them to either.
Yeah.
And he had a chance to go to a high-ranking club, and that's what he did.
Yeah, and like we were saying before, the loyalty aspects to it gone from football now, from a shit team perspective, you know what I mean? If you're later in your career, people want to chase premierships, and can't blame them. That's why you play the game.
That's why you play the game, yeah. That's what gets remembered.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's on good coin too.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not struggling in that department. Like a bit of a shepherd from the Melbourne player there on J1. Oh.
Great chase. See, that's a skill error there.
Yep. Read the ball well there too. Jetta just given up too much in strength there. There's not much you can do about that.
His pace was good. I mean, he got held off it a little bit, but...
Right bounce and he's off.
He's off, exactly right.
And here we go. Look at the rebound.
That's not a bad contest from Watts. He backed into the pack and he caught one for his troubles.
It should be...
look, that's another Essendon bounce. Yeah, he paid the deliberate.
Yeah.
I suppose it did bounce sideways to get there.
Yeah. I think if it goes 50 metres forward, that's probably more your intention than going out.
That's what I mean.
You don't mind if it goes out, but you're more happy getting 50 metres out of your defence. That's your main priority.
Yeah, that's a positive kick. It's not a...
I think it's a skill from a backline perspective to be able to get a long kick and have it go out. Yeah. I think that's something that should be punished. I think if you do it straight away, within 5-10 metres, fair enough. But if you're kicking it 50 metres out of your back line and it happens to go out, I don't think you can collect it a bit.
If you're, 5 metres off the boundary line and you kick it and it's still 5 metres off the boundary line,
Yeah.
I think that's all right. But if you're 40 metres inboard and then it lands 5 metres inboard, you're kicking it towards the boundary line.
Yeah.
So there's
It's
an
got to be
important
consistent
difference
playing down the field, you're saying.
there. Interesting kick.
Yeah. Tell you what, that's good work. Froley
just wouldn't sit up for him. Should have done better.
Yep. I mean, he did put him under pressure with the kick, but he tapped it down to his advantage, and that's where he should do his work as a full forward.
The kick, I mean, it might not have been hitting him on the chest, but it was to his advantage. So he had the best chance of doing something with it. That's a shocking kick.
Yeah. They've done really well in spreading Essendon's defence.
Haven't they? That's a great kick from Pedersen. He was having a shocking first half.
Yep, and look at that. Pretty much bounced dead over the centre mark of the goal line.
He's kicked 2 big goals in the second half, so that's the thing. You're never out of the game.
What's that, back to 8 points now? And you love the confidence of taking that shot.
Yeah, here it is. I've got the run. He's not thinking about anything else.
So this is what I'm paid to do, boys.
See, times like this too, the goal umpire camera, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Veteran coach knows when to cover his mouth when he's swearing.
I mean, next we'll be seeing the cheer squad leader helmet cam. I'd like to see, who was front and centre with the big streamers there, see what their view's like.
Through the bottom of a beer cup.
Yeah. As a Melbourne supporter at this point, do you get excited or do you just get nervous like, oh no, here we go, they're going to turn it on now and we're going to be steamrolled again? Because it's hard to get excited when your team isn't going so well and you get in these close situations. And you just have that memory of being crushed before and getting your hopes up. But I mean,
I think part of you would also, there's the apprehension, not again, I hope we can't.
Yeah.
But at least it's the last quarter and you're still interested in the game.
Yeah.
Again, another percentage, 60% pulled out of your ass.
Yep.
Shocking kick.
I'd like to see the stat on what the probability is of their probability predictions being right.
The probability of the probability, yeah.
Look at that, just one side dominant, everyone just push wide. That's where you'd like to see a sneaky runner, Howe or someone go the other way and get one-on-one.
Coming from the back flank all the way up.
Yeah. Oh, that's good body work. It's just a wrong bounce.
Just keep moving it forward.
Yep,
You got numbers. And now we lost it. Now,
I think that was just a battle of numbers there. They did well to hold it up, but just couldn't get the numbers around the ball.
It's a great scramble. Like it's not pretty footy, but geez, it's good to watch.
But the thing is, if they do get possession, they're already set up downfield where Essendon had already concentrated around the contested ball.
Yeah.
Obviously didn't pay out that way, but what can you do?
Geez, a class player like Goddard, you expect him to bury those ones, but it's the way Essendon's day went.
Yep.
So it's 8 goals, 15 or something like that.
And you see Bomber go,
8-16.
He's thinking, there's nothing more I can do. It's up to you guys. You've got to finish off.
Right.
You've got to finish it off. Not a whole lot downfield, but see 2 players leading to the same bit of space. You make it easy for the defence.
Yep. Well, it was all one-on-one, so you got to trust someone.
Yep.
Gee, that's a good kick.
And the forearm across the back is the right way to do it. You can't have the hand planted in the back, but the forearm with them going to come back and rest against it. I think that's meant to be okay. Need to be perfect with that kick, which he was. Oh, it's a good smother coming in from the side there. I think he just timed that to perfection.
It's great, isn't it, when they're tired and everything, and it's been a bit of not a scrappy game, but a tough slog, grind of a game. 10 points to go, 11 minutes left.
Yep.
Everyone starts to get up.
Yep, you start putting in that extra effort. Second win comes around.
Yeah, okay, that's an ordinary kick. Now look at him peel back.
Oh, well done.
Look at that. That's
work.
composure
Yep.
in the...
And backed it up as well. Perfect.
Well done. Yeah, he hasn't been too bad, Watts. He's gone quiet for periods, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a kick to a 4-on-1, but...
Like a big don't argue on Jones there. Ducked into that
Great
one. Can't
call.
pay that.
Yeah, that's holding the ball.
Yeah. I think he's just got it out of it.
Yeah, I reckon that's a bit rough.
Yeah. I think Keanu Reeves should have holding the ball there all day.
Great hands.
Good work. And you see Jones knowing that Frawley's going to be going on to his
Natural.
Yeah.
Right foot, because he's got no left foot. We found that out earlier in the day. Good to see the Melbourne faithful take off the Burberry scarves to give them a wave.
Yeah.
Really good show.
Oh, they love a scarf and a suit, Melbourne supporters. The smoking jacket. Sure, many cognacs and cigars after this win. So we've got a 2-point ball, 4-point ball game. 10 minutes.
Melbourne in the rare position of having more goals and still being behind.
Yeah.
It can happen. There you go. 61% kicking efficiency, as Jason Dunstall just told us. Goal kicking, obviously the worst of it.
Yeah. And it shows with kicking efficiency like that, you give your forward line a better chance of being in position and kicking goals and being free.
Or you get even a better chance of getting up there. There's a great tackle by Hal there.
Yeah.
It's good to see, the high jumper. We've spoken about him before. He's got the flashy highlights, but he can do the workman stuff as well.
Not afraid to get in and under the packs.
I tell you what, it's a tough game here. I've got the Brownlow medal votes for this game. We've still got 9 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Do you reckon? I reckon there's a good chance you can name 3. You pick your Brownlow medal votes here, and I reckon there's still a fair chance you won't get the ones that were actually picked.
Yep.
It's one of those games where nobody's absolutely stood out.
Yeah, you're right. It has been lots of contested footy and lots of team play, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Very composed decision making. And
there's nobody to really say beat their opponent for 4 quarters.
Yeah.
So, do you want to have a go? Try and pick your 3, 2, and 1.
I'll give it 5 minutes first. We'll see how this turns out. So I forgot to be paying attention for that sort of stuff. But usually it's a easy pick. Because for Melbourne, not only do I have to notice who's getting a lot of the ball, but
You've got to try and figure out what their bloody name is.
What their name is.
Well, at least we haven't got any wrong this time. We've got a couple wrong with St Kilda. My fault.
I think I got a couple wrong. Yeah. I've associated...
I'm sure Nathan Burke was still running around.
Tell you what, Hurley was the one that made that play happen.
Yeah, didn't he?
Didn't stay down, went to spoil the one-on-one contest. Look at that run. You got to give it to him after that chase.
Yeah, you got to let him know. It was a long chase, wasn't it, bud?
Nice work, fuckface. Got a few Kiss fans in the...
Yeah, I don't understand that, but anyway.
Sit down, Dad.
I'll tell you what, if we could rewind it there, and we're not going to, he looked like he was wearing a Stan beanie from South Park.
Yeah, he did, actually.
There's a merchandise tie-in that the Demons head office have got to get on board with.
Yeah.
And don't kid yourself, that's a tough kick.
Yeah.
After, what's he got? 1 bounce. Oh, that one's skidded on a little bit. There's the second. Still flat out with a big third. There's the big bloke chasing him, and he's managed to drill it.
And after that much
And
run,
he's pushed somebody else.
Yeah.
May as well push somebody. It's your,
trying to kick at full clip is hard.
yeah.
It's hard work.
Dom Tyson, who we spoke about, he's a great pickup for him.
Yep.
Does sound like he's got his name backwards though, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Should be Tom Dyson. I bet you he gets Tom Dyson a lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at that. Too easy. And it's funny, the harder the work, the more luck you tend to get.
yep. You got to make your own luck.
I think it's at this point where the Melbourne are like, oh, I think we've got
We're
a
on.
chance here, yeah. Very good. When you see Essendon wasting chances of their goal shooting.
Because Essendon's been their bunny over the last couple of years.
Yep.
I think they lost to him in 2013
Yep.
as well. So you know, there's that little bit, oh shit, not again.
Yep.
And it's coming from the Bombers for a change.
Yeah.
And you know, believe me, one of the reasons I chose this game to watch is because we love watching Essendon lose.
Yeah.
There's
So-
joy to be had there.
So I was going to say Melbourne were kind of Richmond's bunnies, but you can't really be a bunny when you're both as shit as each
Both
other.
as shit as- yeah.
Doesn't really count. But they do have the wood over us, put it that way. Oh, that's a key tap out in that position.
Oh,
this
it's a
time of the
great
game.
handball.
And to be honest, this is the way you'd expect Essendon to be playing at this point
Yep.
of a match. And it's got to give you confidence in your team with this sort of performance in the
That's it,
fourth
it's
quarter.
That's what we were talking about before. When you got those periods of dominance, when the flow of the game goes your way, and neither team has been able to bury them.
Yeah.
Melbourne have been had to play for the last 3 minutes of game time, and have
Yep.
put a couple through, and now they're 8 points up, and looking to go further. It's
Yeah.
the first time in the game that either team's really taken the reins.
And what it does is it puts Essendon on the back foot, and they start asking questions about where they're going wrong,
Yeah.
as opposed to reinforcing what they're doing right. They've got to change their defence and their plan. Which, I mean, you always want to have them on the back foot, and you want to be imposing your game plan. Speaking of which, that's a shit ass kick.
Yeah, third man spoils it forward. That's the way you like to
Yep.
say.
Tell you what, the crowd just seems to be nice and evenly spaced out. Everyone's
Yeah.
comfy. You can put pie and a bottle of Coke on the seat next to you instead of on the ground.
I don't think there was much concern with allocated seating in this fixture.
No.
There's the mongrel.
Yeah.
Mark that bastard.
Oh,
Yeah,
he paid
good.
it.
I'm glad he paid
Yep.
that.
Fair jump off 2 steps.
Yeah.
And it seems when Essendon have gone back.
Another great chase from Dawes there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See, that one
it's-
you need to keep your feet, those ones. And Jones keeping at it again. That's what you want to see from your captain, standing
Yeah.
up in those situations. And gets to the line to
Gets
get out
on
of holding the
try.
ball. Smart play by Jones. And look, the fans love it. Into it.
Isn't it?
That's what you
Right
want
in
to see
front.
from the Melbourne crowd.
Right in front of the MCC members.
Got the young lads in the beards, otherwise they don't fit in with the Melbourne crowd. I think it's probably more than the coach making this difference in this match.
Yeah, when you talk about cultures, then I'm trying to remember who it was I heard speak during the year. Was hearing from the Melbourne Storm players.
Yep.
That, you know, after a game, you go and do your ice baths, and I don't know if you've ever jumped into an ice bath. You know,
Yeah.
you spend a couple of minutes in there, it bloody hurts.
Yeah.
It's awful. They're saying, you know, after in their recovery session, the Melbourne players weren't in the ice baths. The Melbourne Demon players weren't, because they share a lot of facilities with the Storm players.
Yep.
They're sitting in jacuzzis and
What?
shit like that. You know, having
Oh
a
my
nice
God.
relax and, like, you know, after you've been pumped on the weekend. You know, this is going back a couple of years. So there's those kind of things that they talk about. It's not always 100% professional.
Yeah.
It's being comfortable.
And for those listening that don't understand the theory behind ice baths, what they say is that when you're obviously doing working out, no matter what it is, any sort of physical workout, you build up lactic acid and toxins in your muscles as a byproduct of burning off energy. And if you go into an ice bath, what that does, it puts your body into a state of induced shock, more or less,
Almost
where
shock, yeah.
all your blood gets pushed towards your major organs as a life-saving mechanism. what that also does is help flush out all the toxins that are in your muscles and your body processes them. And so that's the theory behind the ice baths. And it's pretty accepted theory across all sports these days.
It's everywhere.
Standard.
It's tested and true, and they've taken it to the next stage now. There's a lot of the I want to say the cryo theory where they go down to like minus 100 degrees.
Yeah, I think it's minus 220 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And
something ridiculous.
It looks like a little shower cubicle, all fenced in, and you just see like dry ice fumes coming off the top.
I saw some photos during the week of the Port Adelaide team going in there, and you've got to wear like a face mask because otherwise you start to get icicles on any facial hair and all that kind of stuff. You can only spend a minute tops. Sort of in those kind of temperatures, but it is like I say, it puts the body into life-saving mode and pulls all the acid out of the muscles and starts to run it through the natural filters.
Yeah, and so for training these days in any professional sport, it seems to be like a minimum what you do for recovery. That seems to be the baseline. The other thing people do is salt water. Apparently, is good for healing muscles. So you go have a wander through the beach. I don't know what the theory behind that is, but we see lots of people do it. They do it with racehorses as well.
Yep.
Could just be an old wives' tale. I haven't seen any science to back that up, but I'm sure they would do science. Oh, it could just be a bonding exercise too. Jack there needs to be a bit more stronger, but he's not strong, so there's not a whole lot you can do.
That's a good mark.
And good hold up too.
Look at him.
And Zacharakis licks his lips at these opportunities.
He loves them.
He's bread and butter. From 50. Look at that, almost hit the centre of the goal line.
And see, this is why we see that Melbourne fans don't like to get their hopes up because it can be taken away so easy like this.
I see. It did all he could to hold him up, and then there's nothing more you can do. Zacharakis loose in the middle. Can't give him those chances. So 3 votes tough.
It's very tough.
It's very tough.
Picking 3 players is tough, let alone 3 votes.
Yeah.
God, kicked it so hard he knocked him off the smother.
Yeah. So I think Melbourne's had a better team performance, but I think Essendon might have had a couple better individual performances, if that makes sense. But it's hard to give a 1 and a 2 vote to 2 Essendon players, if that makes sense. Like, I'd have Heppel in there he's done a lot just being open. Zacharakis is the other one that would be his name, but I think Nathan Jones, in my instance, would get 3 votes. Done some good things.
He's kicked a couple of goals, but I mean, even that last play, the first of Zacharakis' 2 goals in a minute there, it was his lack of one-on-one.
Yeah.
Cost it.
Frawley's had a decent game, but still not a standout, I would say. Howe is the other one, I think.
I thought Howe
he hasn't done a lot of statistical damage, but his work around the ball and his work off the ball has been up there. So, I mean,
which is probably why he got no votes. You know?
Yeah, and he'd be the one. Like, I'd probably pick Jones, probably Howe, and I'd probably put Zacharakis in the 1 vote.
Not a bad effort. 3 votes to Lyndon Dunn.
Oh yeah.
2 to Zacharakis.
Yep.
And 1 for Jones.
Yep. Yeah.
Which, when, on the face of it, not bad.
Yeah, and even just from what we've been talking about at the start, we're talking about how their back line is really holding up on that last line. So, yeah, that would make sense. And like I said, it's hard for a backman to stand out. They've got to do something really exceptional. So
3 votes right there, touching that one through.
So, I've got no complaints to the umpires in that one. I probably would have put Jones above Zacharakis, but
maybe.
And picking, look, that's nitpicking.
I think those 3 plus Jeremy Howe, that's not a bad bad decision.
I think most Melbourne supporters will be happy they won the game and be complaining too much about votes. And at this point of the game where it's close,
2
1
minutes
kick
to
in
go.
it, you don't want to see people playing for free kicks. You want to see strong bodies get that ball. You got to win that ball. You're not going to get given that ball, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's these moments where you need those experienced leaders out there because you can't get a message out with 2 minutes left.
Yep.
To do complicated moves or set up stuff. So you need those leaders out there to be a coach on the field.
It's just setting audibles, isn't it?
Yep. That's where you'd reckon Essendon have the advantage. Chapman up forward and Goddard down back.
Yeah. This situation is kind of what you're paying Chapman for.
Exactly. Yeah, and he is a clutch time player.
Yeah. And that's not saying they didn't do his job, because I think he did. I think Chappie had a good match.
He had a good year.
Yeah.
I thought he was past it when Essendon picked him up, but...
I thought he'd be a more mentoring role, so to speak, like Cousins was at Richmond, but no, none of that. He's on the ball, playing great footy, inspiring
great
footy.
Great pick-up, Pedersen. Gee, there's a bloke that his first half and second half were very, very different.
Yeah, and you want to have him that way around as well. Inboard, beautiful. Opened up the centre of the field there.
Minute to go.
And look at it streaming through, one off.
Oh, there's a missed handball there.
There it is.
Cross over to the sub.
Sets it up.
Salem. The sub. I don't think he's had a kick yet.
His life is a big call there. You know what he's done, what he's been through.
Is it how comfortable are you feeling?
Yeah.
The ball's in the sub's hands.
Yeah.
First or a second year player. Big moment.
Well, you hope he's got that young confidence that teen I don't give a fuck.
He doesn't
this
know.
One. I was just picturing Michael Jordan in his head.
19 seconds to hold on to 1 point.
Yep.
If anybody's left in the forward 50, if there's a Melbourne player standing next to him, they're an idiot.
Yep.
Look, the runner, she's loving life out there too.
Yeah. So old mate looks like he's struggling with the water there. Yep, bummer. Calling it how it is. That was shit.
This is the hard part for the coach. You saw everyone back, everyone forward. There's nothing else you can do. There's 20 seconds left.
That's it.
Just charge through.
That's it. Just bite down in the mouth guard and away you go.
Yep. You can't leave a man open. Here it comes, the big bomb, the last roll of the dice. And he spoiled his own man.
For himself. What's he going to do? Don't give it a chappy. Or Zaharakis.
He's done well.
Tell you what, Jones there, done well to keep it out of Zaharakis.
And there it is.
There it is. So Melbourne, I've picked them to finish 18th next year.
So you reckon they're actually going to go down?
I think they'll go down the ladder, but they'll improve as a club. I just think the teams around them will improve a bit more, and Carlton and Collingwood won't be shit enough to go underneath them, if that makes sense.
I've got them marginally improving. I think they're going to finish 15th.
Yeah.
Because I think a few more games under the belts of their second, third, and fourth year type of players. And also, like I said, Petraka and Brayshaw are going to play games this year, and I think they can contribute.
Yeah.
They're a little more settled now, with a few more experienced players coming in, like Lumumba, and who's the other one? Garlett.
Garlett. Yeah.
I think Garlett's going to. I'd be thinking he'll have a better year than he had this year.
Yeah. Well, 18th, and I hope they do. I just think it's maybe 1 year off before they really make their charge up the ladder.
Try and go for an 8th spot.
But I could be wrong. Could be this year. I think it's going to be positives for them anyway. Even if the ladder result might not show up, but I think their on-field performance will be much improved.
Well, that was the fourth and final win for Melbourne for that year. They finished off with 10 straight losses, one honourable. Looking forward to 2015 for them. It shouldn't be as doom and gloom as it has been for the last few.
No, their best work this year was definitely in the draft period. So
the draft period, they nailed the draft period. They got everything they wanted out of it. So hopefully they can make the most out of it for a change.
Yep, looking forward to Melbourne's performance next year.
All right. Thank you, Demon fans. That's 2015. Looking forward to it.
All right, thanks, guys.
Cheers.